why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning.
Welcome to High Five Wrestling. I'm your host, the Cavalier of the YWC, DW.
I am Chicago Ted.
All right, so we had Raw,
Yeah.
Memphis,
No,
Tennessee.
We had a pile of shit.
Yeah. So we're going to see this card quite a bit tonight because it just was an awful Raw, I would say.
All right. We're going to start with Cena comes out to address the crowd and Kane. Oh, Cena talking to the crowd?
Wow.
Color me shocked. Kane comes out, tells Cena he will see the power of hate tonight. Largely uneventful way to start it off.
I think Kane with the mask is pretty all right, but that segment was just bland. I think eventually it's going to get better when Cena turns heel. But the next thing we saw was Daniel Bryan versus Cody Rhodes.
It was actually a pretty good match until the end. And the ending, seriously, the World Heavyweight Champion had to small package roll up Cody Rhodes to get a victory. Yeah,
I hate how they just have these random matches with the champions, and they call them, champion versus champion, and that's your way. Then you can say, we're booking the Intercontinental Champion, we're booking the World Champion, but really they're just throwing them in random matches against each other, and I can't stand that.
What was up with Daniel Bryan after the match? He grabbed his title, tried to shove it in Cole's face, then ran around with the fans and screamed like he just re-won the title.
I don't know.
Seriously, you're on Raw, dude. You just barely beat the Intercontinental Champion with a small package roll.
And I don't know why he can't just beat, they just can't book Daniel Bryan to at least be credible enough to beat the Intercontinental Champion.
It's because Money in the Bank, dude. Money in the Bank is ruining the titles. It's making them look bad.
I agree. Agreed. Well, the next thing was Wade Barrett addressing the crowd and taking on Santino Marella.
Wade Barrett deserves better.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Wade Barrett fan, but he deserves better than Santino Marella.
He really does. No one expected. I understand Santino came in second in the Rumble yesterday, but
it was like yesterday.
Yeah, it was like yesterday. But anytime Santino comes out anymore, it's just a squash match, and so it's not fun to watch him anymore.
Is there anything more to say about that? Barrett wins. I went through the match, fast forwarded. Sheamus versus The Miz. Miz runs from the match after a short confrontation, runs through the crowd, gets caught by R-Truth, runs back towards the ring, gets kicked by Sheamus, and then R-Truth busts out that devious water bottle that injured him last week.
Yeah, I gotta say that match was, it was kind of a decent match. It would be an okay feud to watch. Mm-hmm. Anything with R-Truth being a face is horrendous in my opinion. So it was just awful seeing him. Now that he's back to face, I guess that's what they're doing with him. Oh, it's terrible. So
seriously,
that gets the call.
Don't even have a match if you're gonna run away from it in 5 seconds.
And what was up with Sheamus hitting The Miz? I thought something.
I thought he was gonna get disqualified.
I thought something was wrong with my TV when he kept hitting him and hitting him and hitting him. I seriously thought my TV was glitching or something. But
once he did that, I seriously thought that the match was gonna end with a Sheamus disqualification.
Yeah,
and then when he just ran and got a count out, I thought, this is terrible.
Yeah, I just hate. I like Sheamus. He's one of my favorite guys when he's booked right, but. Right now, he's just being booked in random matches with no feuds and no rhyme or reason. So I can't take him seriously as a competitor. It's just, they book him as a heel in the ring, but then he's a face outside of the ring.
Yeah, and he constantly makes, small heel turns when he's talking to Hornswoggle or something.
Yeah.
He acts like he's gonna straight up just put him through the canvas and go back to heel, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Rock said, "Know your place."
Yeah. Know your role.
That's right.
You said know your place.
Oh. Close enough.
All right, CM Punk versus Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship. You could tell that it was going to be a terrible match. Seriously, what are you doing putting a World Championship match in the middle of the show? It wasn't even good enough to make main event.
Yeah.
No.
I agree.
Don't even have it if you're going to do that.
CM Punk versus Dolph Ziggler was a good match, though. I got to say.
I disagree. I believe that a match can be made or broken on the ending. Having Punk lose by countout because of the Raw general manager it's dumb.
Well, yeah, I agree. But, it was a good match other than that. It was a fun... it was
the
only match I was entertained by.
Ziggler botched a move where he threw CM Punk too early, and CM Punk hit his chin on the second ropes instead of the first one.
Well,
So
I enjoyed
It was
it.
kind of poorly executed.
Yeah, but
You enjoyed it because you like Dolph Ziggler.
I enjoy CM Punk. I enjoy Dolph Ziggler, and seeing them in a match together. I think they're two of the best in the ring, two of the best young talent. And we got to see, we're seeing a really big push of Dolph Ziggler beating the champion twice, even if it is a screw job finish. But actually, I legitimately thought Dolph Ziggler won the title for like a split second, and then I realized, I marked out for just like that long.
I only watched the match because I thought that the Prophecy 2012 would be revealed during the match.
Yeah.
And I was really pissed that it wasn't because I didn't care about the match. When it was in the middle of the show, you knew the title wasn't going to change hands.
Yeah. But
next up, unless you got more to say on the topic. No. Next up, the Bella Twins versus Kelly Kelly and Eve Torres. It's a Divas match. You know where we go with that.
Lasted 2 minutes and 4 seconds.
The crowd did not make a sound.
Yep, it's typical.
Mm-hmm. It was just...
just boring.
At least the heels won, but there's absolutely no storyline progression with this.
Yeah. So unless we had any kind of story whatsoever, it's just really not worth watching. And
move all the divas. Okay, you don't have to get rid of them. Move them all to superstars.
It's fair.
I'm just it's not fair to make them all lose their jobs, but if you're not going to treat them properly, then get them off the main show.
Yeah. Either start booking them correctly or just don't book them at all.
Yeah, agreed.
Because it's not even watchable at this point.
Whenever they come on, you either fast forward it, or actually, I don't fast forward because I want to see how short they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to time them just to find out.
Okay. Then Prophecy 2012 was finally revealed to be Chris Jericho. And I believe DW started a new segment tonight called My Two Cents.
I think I could do that. I think I'll go ahead and start there right now. All right, your move, Brett. Oh, hey there. This is DW, and this is my first segment of My Two Cents. So what am I going to talk about in the first segment of My Two Cents? How about Prophecy 2012? All right, so was it successful? Was it unsuccessful? Let's look at what was the purpose of it. I think the purpose of Chris Jericho even coming back was for a big ratings pop, just like any legend coming back. So they probably got that pop. So in that aspect, I would say it's probably successful. We'll have to see in the ratings on how it did. But with that being said, Chris Jericho's purpose for coming back is really, for a pop, but also for WrestleMania, and whatever feud he's coming back for can't be rushed because WrestleMania is months away. So calling out CM Punk right now, it wouldn't be a good move to call him out. It'd be like The Rock calling out Cena a year ahead of time. It's way too early for that. So I think it's smart to wait. I think it's smart for that ratings pop. So I think they had the right idea. But I think the delivery was poor. It was a lame comeback. I don't think anyone left that show happy, whether it was the loyal fan, whether it's the casual fan, whether it was the nostalgic fan viewing to see Jericho again. That's a problem. So I think that's where it really failed. We don't see, we're not going to see long-term ratings boost up with that kind of stupid booking. So I think all in all, it's a failure. So right now, I'm going to give it a thumbs down. And that's my 2 cents.
Well, that was interesting, and I definitely agree with most of his comments. The fact that he just came out and celebrated with the crowd for 20 minutes, 18 you said?
No, 13.
13. It was ridiculous. I watched like half of it before I finally caught on that he wasn't going to talk. And the fact that he got booed as he went up the ramp without saying anything really said a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I get that they're trying to put him as a heel like he was when he left. I get that, but man, the delivery is just poor, and it's not a way to keep fans or keep people interested in the product.
Yeah.
It really isn't, especially with a talent like a Chris Jericho, who really could be the number one of the company.
I'm hoping he didn't write that part himself, because if he did, he's definitely lost his touch.
Yeah, I don't think he did. But let's go to the next segment.
The main event.
I guess you could call it that.
Zack Ryder, John Cena, and The Big Show versus Jack Swagger, Mark Henry, and Kane. Minus Kane, because David Otunga said that, he won't fight. What? He won't fight? John Laurinaitis isn't going to make him fight? I mean, I understand he's Kane, but he's the Vice President of Human Talent Relations and the General Manager of Raw. John Laurinaitis.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, like, why couldn't Daniel Bryan have been in this match? Like,
Oh no! Why couldn't Daniel Bryan have stayed on SmackDown? Or I don't know. Why couldn't Daniel Bryan not have won the title?
that's,
There's
a better question.
Big Show and Mark Henry DQ'd themselves. Jack Swagger got eliminated by John Cena. Kane comes out through the ring. That was a refreshing little. That hasn't happened in a long time.
Yeah.
Choke Cena out. He needs to really stop with this choked out garbage. He needs to actually choke slam somebody.
Slam someone through a table. Do something different.
And they tried to pull Ryder down into the depths of hell, which was pretty cool.
Well, I didn't even understand that. He was pulling him through a ring, and that's supposed to be the depths of hell. Like, he was pulling. What would he pull him? Like,
but you
underneath the ring. That was at the depths of hell.
But wait. When he saved him, you saw the flames come up through the ring.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's now
it's a metaphor for the depths of hell. If you're gonna start nitpicking wrestling, then you need to get out of here, and I'll take this over myself. Unless you want to tell me, if the stagehands are gonna dig a hole, have them dig it 50 feet, and then just have a buried alive match, I guess.
Yeah. So overall, what would you give this rating?
Well, wait. First, I want to point out that I think it's really. I forgot to point this out in the beginning. I think it's really interesting that the fans have written the John Cena versus Kane storyline, really.
What do you mean?
Half of them don't like him, and half of them do like him, despite the fact that he's a face. And this storyline wouldn't exist if, WWE didn't, if we didn't hate him for being overused. You know?
Well,
he'd probably still be winning the title if half of us didn't hate him.
Yeah, I agree. Because he's not like The Rock or Stone Cold, where he kind of leaves prematurely. Because The Rock, he left, and everyone's like, oh, The Rock's left, and same thing with Chris Jericho, for example, and pretty much every superstar except like Hulk Hogan, who just overstays his welcome. But John Cena turning heel is kind of nice because we've kind of made that happen, and fans have just hated it.
Interesting, yeah.
It's just it's not even legitimate. Like it's just like X-Pac heat. It's like we just hate you. We don't want you on our team anymore.
Okay, so what would you give this Raw?
I enjoyed it up until Chris Jericho came out, and then man, I'm shocked
you enjoyed it that far.
But I enjoyed the CM Punk Dolph Ziggler match. I enjoyed the Daniel Bryan and Cody Rhodes, despite the finishes of both those matches. Sheamus versus Miz was okay. We enhanced a few storylines, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
Really?
What do you give it?
I'm giving it a 0 out of 10. That was the biggest waste of 2 hours of my life. I could have been sleeping. I could have been playing I could have been playing Gary's Mod.
Yeah.
Could have done anything with my time better than watch this garbage.
I'm just curious of who booked this Raw. Who put the Bella Twins ahead of the WWE Championship? Who did that? Who? I want to know who did that, and they need to get fired. So get back with us. Let us know. We've been High Five Wrestling. We'll high five you later. By later, I mean tomorrow, because we're going to be hosting our first Q&A. So be expecting it.
Hopefully.
So we'll high five you later.